Action Pack for Grade 10 by Edwina Johnson. Published by House of Education. Copyright Dar al-Tabawiyun, House of Education, 2013. Module 1, Page 4, Exercise 3.
Your business idea doesn't have to be original, but it has to be different from everything else. Make sure you offer something new. Is your idea going to be popular with enough people? Will people feel that they need to get the product? Some market research will help you find out. If your product or service costs too much, your customers won't buy it. Talk to your future customers to find out whether your price is affordable. Who are your typical customers? What will they value in your product or service? Find out as much as you can about your future customers. How much will it cost to produce your idea? When you work out your costs, don't forget about factory costs, salaries, office equipment, etc. Even the best business ideas won't work if you don't have the skills and the ambition. You will only succeed if you want to.
Module 1, Page 8, Exercise 2.
Hello all, my name is Samer Abu Kuta. I am 18 years old and I am a university student in Jordan. I am very interested in science and technology. I read about inventions and discoveries during my free time and try to invent something new. Recently, I worked on a new invention and I was surprised how many people thought it was very useful. I invented a computer system for online commercial transactions. It's a legal program and I think it would be very helpful for people who work in business. Possible customers are business people who can't always meet with each other because they live or work in distant places. They are mostly buyers and sellers who want to make transactions without the need for being present for signing a contract between them. This computer system helps people.
Module 2, Unit 1, Page 12, Exercise 1. Module 2, Unit 1, Page 12, Exercise 3.
A hidden world. The bright colours of birds, the call of monkeys, and the hum of insects are common sights and sounds in a tropical rainforest. Rainforests grow near the equator, where it is always warm and wet, the perfect habitat for plants and animals. In Papua New Guinea, scientists have just discovered a new rainforest. It has existed for many thousands of years at the top of a mountain. It has always been very difficult to reach. Even the people who live on the slopes of Mount Basavi have rarely visited this hidden rainforest. It is very high up, at over 2,500 meters above sea level, and it is hidden inside the hole of a huge volcano. In 2009 CE, an international team of scientists visited Mount Basavi and discovered an amazing world of plants and animals there. They discovered many colourful tiny frogs, some unusual species of fish, rare bats and spiders, a kangaroo that looked like a small bear, and a giant rat that was as big as a cat. Altogether, the scientists found more than 40 new species of animals, as well as many rare or new plants. Today, though, this beautiful hidden world is in danger. Logging has already begun in the area.
Module 2, Unit 1, Page 14, Exercise 3.
Do you know why there is life on Earth? Well, it's because there is water on Earth. From space, Earth is a beautiful blue planet. The colour blue is the oceans, which cover 2/3 of Earth's surface. Earth is different from other planets because its climate is suitable for humans, plants, and animal species like insects, fish, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and mammals. The temperature is tolerable and doesn't go from one extreme to another. In addition, oxygen is the gas that most living beings need for breathing. Trees and plants breathe out this air to provide it for others.
Module 2, Unit 1, page 14, Exercise 5.
Spider. Discover. Equator.
Module 2, Unit 2, page 18, Exercise 3.
Salim and Tarek, I'm going to give you some clues about a precious stone. You guess the correct precious stone from my description. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
These precious stones are some of the hardest stones on Earth. Some are millions of years old. They come from many different continents, but no one has found them in Europe.
It might be ruby because it is a hard precious stone.
It can't be amber because amber is found in Northern Europe.
I know, it must be diamond.
Yes, you're right. Well done. Now this precious stone is red. It can sell for higher prices than diamond.
This one must be ruby. Rubies are red.
Yes, it can't be emerald because emeralds are green.
Yes, you're right. Now this one is precious, but it isn't a stone. It grows in the shell of an oyster. It has many colours: white, yellow, pink, blue, and even black.
It could be amber. Amber has many different colours.
No, it can't be amber because amber doesn't grow in the shell of an oyster. I think it must be pearl.
Yes, well done, Tarek. It is pearl. This last precious stone is usually green, but it can also be pale blue. Today, it usually comes from Colombia.
Module 2, Unit 2, page 20, Exercise 1.
Many people like precious stones, such as diamonds, emeralds, and rubies. I have always loved amber. I have a huge collection of more than 200 pieces. Enough precious stones to fill a room. Amber is an unusual precious stone because it does not sparkle with light. It has a rather dull appearance at first, but when you rub a piece of amber, it shines with a warm, golden light. It also feels warm, not cold, when you touch it. Amber also has a surprising secret. Many millions of years ago, amber was a sticky resin inside trees. As this sticky resin came out of the trees, lots of small plants and animals fell into it. After 1 million years or so, the resin became very hard and fossilized. It is this fossilized resin that we call amber. The plants and animals that fell into it are still inside, perfectly preserved. Spiders, frogs, flies, small lizards, flowers, and leaves are all still there, exactly as they were in life. Amber has a long history. Archaeologists have discovered that some people traded amber for food and clothes 6,000 years ago. And we also know that the Romans used it in a lot of jewelry. Amber has many different colours: gold and orange, white or yellow, brown or black. I have just bought several.
Module 2, Unit 2, page 23, Exercise 7.
Many visitors to Amman enjoy looking around the lovely shops and markets in the city, but there is one area of the city that is very special. Near King Faisal Street and between Al Husseini Mosque and the Citadel, people can visit the gold market. Here you can buy gold and silver items, especially jewellery. Visitors are sometimes surprised when the shopkeeper weighs the item to decide the price. There are bracelets, necklaces, and earrings.
Module 3, Unit 3, page 26, Exercise 3.
Super scientists. In the last 1,000 years, science has made much progress. In the past, Arab scientists like Abbas ibn Firnas and al-Zahrawi made several important discoveries. These great people of the past had a huge influence on different fields of human knowledge. Their work has changed our daily lives today. Nowadays, science is an international subject. In 1901 CE, a Swedish scientist called Alfred Nobel founded the Nobel Prize. Since then, there have been 6 Nobel Prizes every year. They are for medicine, physics, chemistry, economic sciences, literature, and peace. Since 1901 CE, there have been more than 700 Nobel Prize winners. Marie Curie was a Polish scientist. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. In fact, she was the winner of 2 Nobel Prizes, for physics in 1903 CE and for chemistry in 1911 CE. Her great discovery was radium. In 1921 CE, German scientist Albert Einstein received the Nobel Prize for physics. He did important research into light and how it travels. The Scottish doctor Sir Alexander Fleming won the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1945 CE. In 1929 CE, Fleming discovered penicillin, which is a very important medicine today. In 1962 CE, British and American scientists Francis Crick and James Watson won the
Module 3, Unit 3, page 27, Exercise 5.
Has, past, made, and, last.
Module 3, Unit 3, page 28, Exercise 3. Tarek, what are you studying in history at the moment?
We are doing a project on the Nobel Prizes. Our teacher always says that they are the highest awards anyone can receive. I'm researching Alfred Nobel himself, who set up the prizes.
So, what can you tell me about him?
He was born in Sweden in 1833 CE. His father was an engineer. Alfred first studied chemistry at university in France and the USA, but then came back to Sweden in 1859 CE. He set up a laboratory with his brother Emil, and they worked on producing a safe and a useful kind of an explosive. In one of their experiments, an explosive killed Emil Nobel, but Alfred continued in his experiments, and in 1867 CE, he invented a much safer explosive, which he called dynamite. He was very wealthy, and when he died in 1896 CE, he left over $9 million for annual prizes in 5 fields: literature, physics, chemistry, medicine, and peace.
So there are 5 Nobel Prizes each year?
Actually, in 1969 CE, they added a prize for economic sciences.
So which Nobel Prize are you hoping to get one day?
I'd like to be a
Module 3, Unit 4, page 32, Exercise 3.
Science matters. Do you like science? Whatever you think of science, there is no doubt that it can be very surprising. Science tries to answer many of the questions that we like to ask about the world around us. Do you know, for example, that lightning is 10 times hotter than the sun? Or that 100 million microorganisms live in your mouth? The 3 main areas of science are biology, chemistry, and physics. Biology is the study of living things. It includes the fields of botany, zoology, ecology, and environmental science. Chemistry is the study of the building blocks of nature and how they combine to form the solids, liquids, and gases that make up everything. Physics is the branch of science that deals with matter and energy and how they interact. Science tries to answer questions such as
Module 3, Unit 4, Page 33. Exercise 5.
Physicists have shown us that light travels faster than sound. It is the fastest thing we know. Biologists explain that when we do exercise, the cells in our body need more oxygen. Chemists have found that oil and coal come from plants and animals.
Module 3, Unit 4. Page 34. Exercise 2. Professor Allen, can you tell us what scientists do?
Scientists study the world around us, from the tiny microorganisms that live on Earth to distant unknown planets.
Which area of science do you think is the most important one today?
I'm an environmental scientist, so of course I think that environmental science is the most important. Today, there are a lot of environmental problems in the world, and scientists are trying to solve them. At the moment, I am working with some tiny green plants, which don't produce flowers when they grow. They live in rivers and in the sea, and they grow in sunlight. We are carrying out experiments to grow huge numbers of these tiny plants in water. They are very important because when they grow, they react to sunlight and produce a liquid. We think that cars can use this liquid in the future.
I see now why so many... Revision A. Page 39. Exercise 1.
Are you full of business ideas? Do you want to share them? Will they make the world a better place? If you answered yes to all these questions, you should apply to enter our brand new TV show, The Business. It's a chance for you to compete against other businessmen and women and to get your product on the market right now. You'll be challenged to promote your product to customers, to develop it and to work with a budget. Then at the end you'll face the hardest job interview of your life. Can you beat the others and succeed in the new original show, The Business? Apply now on our website if you think you're the right one for us.
Module 4, Unit 5, page 42, Exercise 3.
Polar bears and penguins. Not many people have the chance to visit the North and South Poles. However, if you had the opportunity to visit the poles, they would appear similar. Both are places of extreme cold. If you went there in winter, you would probably experience severe snowstorms. However, both are also places of spectacular beauty, with their frozen landscapes of snow, ice, and icebergs. If you went on a special adventure boat trip when you visited, you would be able to observe the unique wildlife of these places, like polar bears, penguins, and seals. You would be unlucky if you didn't see any seals. The polar bear lives in the cold, snowy Arctic lands in the North Pole. It has a thick layer of fat underneath its skin, and this helps to keep it warm. It also has a thick layer of fur all over its body, including the soles of its feet, which allows it to swim in the coldest seas without feeling the cold. Beneath the fur, the skin is black, so it absorbs heat. Polar bears are excellent swimmers. Their nostrils can close so they can swim underwater and between the ice floes to look for seals, their favourite food. Unlike polar bears, penguins live in the South Pole, and many live in Antarctica. Penguins keep warm with thick skin and lots of fat under the skin. Penguins have dark-coloured feathers on their back, which absorb heat from the sun to keep them warm. Like polar bears,
Module 4, Unit 5, page 43, Exercise 5.
polar bears and penguins.
Module 4, Unit 5, page 46, Exercise 2.
Have you ever been to Aqaba? If not, you should consider visiting it because it has many wonderful sights. and one of its greatest attractions is the Red Sea. There, one can experience the best diving in the world. The best time to go diving is September or October, during which the water is warm and the air temperature is not too hot. Also, around this time of year, the fish life is a lot richer to spot sea turtles and explore the beautiful marine life. If you go there in July or August, diving will be very uncomfortable. Therefore, since all the conditions in Aqaba are easy, diving is acceptable for every level, especially that most diving centres in Jordan offer courses for everyone, whether they are first-time divers or professional ones. Now that you know all about Aqaba and the
Module 4, Unit 5, page 47, Exercise 7. 1.
If I won a lot of money, I'd go on a Red Sea boat trip.
2.
If I went diving,
Module 4, Unit 6, page 48, Exercise 2. Where shall we go?
So, where shall we go on holiday this year?
We went to Australia 2 years ago. Why don't we visit somewhere different this year?
You're right. How about going to Canada? Do you think it's a good idea?
That's a great idea.
I'll check online if there are any trips to Canada. Oh, here, there's a train journey in the Canadian Rockies.
It looks fantastic.
Listen. See the natural wonders of Western Canada. Your journey will begin in Vancouver in British Columbia. From there, you will travel through the coastal mountain range and Fraser Canyon with its dramatic landscape. You will follow the Fraser River, famous for its salmon fishing. You will pass by the Albreda Glacier and the magnificent Pyramid Falls. The highlight of your journey will be Mount Robson, the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies.
I really like the sound of that. Let's book the holiday.
I'll book the train tickets then. I think I'll book them online. It will be cheaper.
Module 4, Unit 6, page 49, Exercise 4. 1.
So, where shall we go on holiday this year?
2.
How about going to Canada?
3. Module 4, Unit 6, page 53, Exercise 7.
Wadi Rum is a valley in the south of Jordan with spectacular desert landscapes and prehistoric archaeological sites. The towering cliffs, high sand dunes, and bold rock formations are awe-inspiring. Travellers can explore the area by taking a jeep tour, but a more unusual way to travel through it is riding on the back of a camel. Riding on a camel through the red deserts of Wadi Rum is a unique experience. Since ancient times, camels have always been among the most useful transport tools in Jordanian history. They can store enormous quantities of water. Visitors to the valley can go on a 3-day camel safari trip that includes camping overnight in tents. They can see unforgettable views at sunrise or sunset. They can observe the unique plant and animal wildlife of the area. During the trip, there are visits to sites such as the Anfashiyya inscriptions, a mountain with carvings of a camel caravan from the Nabatean and Thalmadic period. There are more Nabatean rock carvings of people.
Module 5, Unit 7, page 56, Exercise 3.
One world, many climates. Climates vary hugely in different parts of the world. They determine what an area is like, and they affect the people who inhabit the region, as well as the plants and animals that live there. There are 8 main types of climate. 1. Polar areas are very cold, with strong, dry winds. The temperature in summer is never higher than 10 degrees centigrade, and ice and snow cover the ground. 2. Areas that have a tundra climate include Russia and North America. They are usually cold with very short summers. There is very little rain. This means that not many trees can grow. 3. In mountain areas, the height of the mountains determines the climate. 4. Areas that have a cool temperate climate include Northern Europe and the USA. There is rain almost all year. The summers are usually warm and the winters are not very cold. 5. Places that have a warm temperate climate, such as Southern Europe, southern parts of the USA and South America, have hot, dry summers. Winters are not usually cold. 6. Areas where there is less than 25 centimeters of rain each year have desert climates. North Africa and Central Australia are examples. During the day it is very hot, but at night it becomes very cold. 7.
Module 5, Unit 7, page 58, Exercise 3.
The weather and climate affect the way you dress, the food you eat, and the place where you live. The weather can create huge waves at sea and shape the earth around us. Plants and animals around the world have adapted to the weather conditions that they live in. For example, polar bears in the Arctic have thick fur to protect them from the cold. The atmosphere which surrounds Earth is like a giant blanket of air. The weather is something that is happening at the moment in the atmosphere. The weather is also affected by things that happen thousands of kilometers away. The weather creates many of the world's worst disasters, such as droughts, which cause crops to die and animals to starve, and floods, which cause widespread destruction. However, thanks to modern science, weather forecasts are now fairly accurate worldwide. Today, though, world climates are changing faster than ever before. This is the result of global warming, which is caused by a build-up of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. If we continue to produce large amounts of greenhouse gases, the world will become hotter.
Module 5, Unit 7, page 59, Exercise 9.
Jordan Valley, Russia, North America, North Africa, Southern Europe, South America.
Module 5, Unit 8, page 62, Exercise 3.
Earth's climate story. Earth's climate is changing, but this is not new. Over millions of years, Earth has experienced many dramatic climate changes. For example, several ice ages, when glaciers covered much of Earth's surface, have taken place. In the past, Earth's climate was affected by sudden disasters such as huge volcanic eruptions and clashes with asteroids. These events filled the atmosphere with smoke and dust which blocked out the sun, causing the climate to become cold and dark. Many plants and animals probably died on these occasions. Geologists who study Earth's rocks and how they formed can read layers of rock. These layers provide a record of what happened in the past. In warm periods of Earth's history, there were many plants and animals which eventually died and were fossilized in layers of rock. Archaeologists have also discovered evidence that shows how Earth's climate has changed over millions of years. For example, they have found fossils of trees in parts of Antarctica, which prove that this area was much warmer 110 million years ago than it is today. Humans whose activities might be causing global warming today need to take action. Otherwise, there will probably be more extreme climate changes in the future.
Module 5, Unit 8, page 64, Exercise 3.
A Green Sahara. An international team of archaeologists who were searching for dinosaur fossils has made a dramatic discovery in the Sahara Desert. In the Gobero area of Niger, which is treeless today, the archaeologists have found evidence of a green, fertile valley. Scientists who have examined the evidence now think that the climate in the area was good until the valley dried up, about 4,500 years ago. Archaeologists found evidence that people who lived at the site between 4,500 and 10,000 years ago lived next to a lake and hunted fish and animals. Paul Sereno, who made the discovery with a team of researchers, described how he saw bones belonging to animals that didn't live in the desert. It is amazing that
Module 5, Unit 8, page 67, Exercise 6.
crust, crack,
Module 6, Unit 9, page 70, Exercise 3.
Alhambra Palace. Alhambra Palace in Granada is part of the impressive heritage of the long-lasting Islamic Empire in Spain. Its name in Arabic, Qasr al-Alhambra, means the Red Castle. This refers to the red colouring of the bricks that the original palace was built from. It has become an important tourist attraction in Spain because of its rich Islamic history. It has also had a lot of influence on worldwide art and architecture since it was built. This palace, which was built on a hill overlooking Granada, has beautiful views. The first king arrived in the 13th century and constructed a royal palace. After that, other kings added more parts to the palace. This is why it has so many different styles. Many tourists come to visit Alhambra Palace today to see the Islamic architecture. This includes the spectacular Court of the Lions, which is probably the most famous part of the building. It is a square, open-air courtyard with an impressive marble fountain in the centre. The fountain's name comes from the 12 lions that support the fountain. The lion was a symbol of power in Islamic history and art. From this courtyard, you can walk under arches into the Hall of the Two Sisters, whose wooden doors are over 800 years old. This room attracts tourists because of the beautiful dome, shaped like a flower, and the detailed plasterwork on the walls. Islamic Spain was famous for its artwork and calligraphy, and there are many well-preserved examples in this room. There is a great difference between the plain outside walls and the paintings and sculpture that cover the inside walls. It seems to be paradise on earth, with the column arcade.
Module 6, Unit 9, page 73, Exercise 8.
Burj Khalifa is a skyscraper in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates and is the tallest structure ever built at 828 meters. It took 5 years to complete the exterior. The building opened in January 2010 CE. This amazing tower dominates the Dubai landscape and it can be seen from miles. It contains apartments, offices and a hotel. It is set in a lake and is surrounded by a park. The towering skyscraper was mainly designed by the architect Adrian Smith. The design is inspired by nature. The structure is shaped like a Y and is inspired by the desert flower Hymenocallis. The tower's wings extend out from the center like petals from a stem. At the top, the tower is sculpted into a slim spire made from more than 4,000 tons of steel. Patterns from traditional Islamic architecture are also included in the design. In the lobby of Burj Khalifa, an incredible installation by Jaume Plensa is displayed. This comprises 196 symbols that are made of a mixture of bronze and brass, and which are plated with gold. The symbols represent the 196 countries of the world and are suspended on metal rods.
Module 6, Unit 9, page 75, Exercise 4. 1. The Dead Sea, which is the lowest point on Earth, is located southeast of the capital city, Amman. 2. The Dead Sea, which is visited by thousands of tourists from all over the world, Module 6, Unit 10, page 76, Exercise 3.
The power of imagination. Cultural tourism means travelling to a certain country to experience its culture, including its language, history, art, and other aspects of culture. Thousands of tourists from around the world visit the Louvre Museum in Paris, France, to see the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was born in Italy in 1452 CE. He is regarded as one of the world's greatest artists for being a talented musician, sculptor, as well as being a brilliant scientist and inventor. His notebooks were filled with sketches and drawings of many things: the human body, birds in flight, and designs for the different machines that he invented. When he was 15 years old, Leonardo began to work for an artist. He learnt how to paint, sculpt, and design jewellery. By the age of 20, Leonardo was a great painter and sculptor. Leonardo began work on many large paintings, but very few of them were finished. He did, however, discover how to use light and dark to create effects. His painting Mona Lisa is a masterpiece of light and dark, and it is probably the most famous portrait in the world today. Leonardo was greatly interested in science and nature, so he examined plants and trees to discover how they grow. He also studied rocks to see how they were formed, and he carried out tests to show what things can affect the wind and the oceans. Leonardo was also very interested in machines and sketched many inventions. He studied how birds use their wings to fly and invented some flying machines, a type of parachute, an early helicopter, and an aeroplane.
Module 6, Unit 10, page 77, Exercise 7.
Who? Where?
Module 6, Unit 10, page 78, Exercise 3. 1.
This picture is taken from Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks. It's a design for a flying machine, and it was invented by Leonardo in 1500 CE. If it was built, it would be too heavy to lift off the ground.
2.
Leonardo designed his flying machine to look like a giant bird. It had wings. These were made of heavy material, and they were very big.
3.
There was a rope. This was used to change the direction of flight.
4.
The frame looked like the body of a bird. This was constructed from wood.
5. Revision B, page 83, Exercise 4. Professor Adnan, some people are not well aware of how terribly global warming is affecting our planet. Can you please explain?
Global warming is one of the biggest problems in the world today. Its effect on animals, agriculture, as well as humans is frightening. Temperature is increasing worldwide. Ice is melting, some animal species are breeding less, and sea level rise has become faster over the last century.
That doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you think these problems will become worse in the future?
Indeed, if governments and people don't take immediate action to reduce global warming, the effects will only get worse. Future effects include more killer storms, floods and droughts, massive crop failures, widespread extinction of species, and less fresh water.
What immediate action do you mean should be taken?
Every individual should begin with themselves and encourage their acquaintances if possible. Cut down your use of electricity. Do not burn trash. Ride your bike from time to time or walk. Plant trees and recycle. These are all ideas that are good for your health.
Activity Book, Revision A, page 29, Exercise 1.
Dr. Jamil Haddad was given the Best Invention for 2011 award. Dr. Haddad is a researcher at the Royal Scientific Society in Jordan. His invention, which gave him the honour of this award, is a vibrating dryer. It is a device that dries wet products through vibration. Compared to other dryers, this vibrating device is the most successful because it is very small in size, it requires a smaller amount of hot air, and it needs less power. Dr. Jamil Haddad deserved this award because he has contributed to the
Activity Book, Revision A, page 29, Exercise 4.
Do you enjoy learning about science? Well, it's your lucky day because a new science museum is opening near you. Come and watch documentaries or walk around the museum and enjoy the science displays. If you like technology, then this is the place for you. Register for one of our interactive classes. You can learn and think about the latest technology. Visit our website online or come by and see for yourself. Our doors will be open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Activity Book, Module 5, Unit 7, page 41, Exercise 5.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the weather forecast. The weather in Amman tomorrow will be cold with clouds and light rain. However, it will be a much nicer day in Aqaba with lots of sun and a high temperature of 23 degrees Celsius. As for Jerash, the weather will be similar to that in Aqaba, but cooler because of a strong wind. Thank you for listening.
Activity Book, Revision B, page 59, Exercise 4.
Hello, Salim.
Good afternoon, Amin.
Do you have a lot of homework?
No, not at all.
Let's do something together.
Sure. What do you have in mind?
Shall we go to the park?
It's too hot to be outside today. How about going to the mall?
I was at the mall yesterday. What about going for ice cream?
That's a great idea. Shall we ask Faisal to come with us? Activity Book, Test A, page 61, Listening, Exercise 1. 1.
If you put your money in a purse, you won't lose it.
2.
Omar has been in Jordan for 2 weeks.
3.
I've already finished my science project.
Activity Book, Test B, page 63, Listening, Exercise 1. 1.
If you visited Antarctica in winter, I think you'd regret it.
2.
Polar bears have thick fur to protect them from the cold.
3.
Volcanoes can be very dangerous when they are erupting.
Teacher's Book, Test A, page 143, Listening, Exercise 1.
Marie Curie was a famous physicist and chemist and was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize. Marie Curie was born in Poland in 1867 CE and studied in Warsaw. She went to live in Paris, France, when she was 24 in 1891 CE, where she studied during the day and taught students in the evening. She was very poor and often hungry, but despite this she worked very hard. Marie Curie got a degree in physics from the University of Paris in 1893 CE. She got another degree the next year in 1894 CE. In the same year she met the man who was going to be her husband. Pierre Curie was a professor in Paris and Marie went to work in his laboratory. A year after they met, in 1895 CE, they got married. Pierre and Marie Curie were both brilliant scientists.
Teacher's Book, Test B, page 145. Listening. Exercise 1.
Jellyfish are some of the most ancient creatures in the world, and there are thousands of species of them that can be found today. Jellyfish live in every ocean, from the surface to the deep sea. Jellyfish have soft bodies, which are made of 95% of water. A jellyfish is a kind of ball which opens and closes, and under the ball there are long fingers which reach into the water. These fingers are called tentacles. The biggest jellyfish have tentacles which are 30 meters long. Jellyfish don't have eyes, but they can feel light with their tentacles, and some jellyfish make their own light, which they use to shine in the dark and look big. This protects them from predators because it tricks them. Some have powerful stings, which they do with their tentacles. They use their stings to kill small animals, which are their food. If you find a jellyfish on the beach, don't touch its tentacles because they